Hi Pokefans, Harry here, and welcome to my breakdown and review of the third episode of the Pokemon series, Pokemon Horizons, the episode For Sure, 'Cause Sprigatito's with me. And this episode was great. It picks up exactly where the last episode left off, and and Pokemon Horizons seems to be doing a continuation story, each episode picking up where the last one left off, which is different from the Pokemon anime we had when Ash Ketchum was the protagonist. So it's a really good split where Ash left the Pokemon anime to where Liko became the protagonist of the Pokemon anime. But before we get into this video, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get in to the video. So this episode starts with a flashback where Liko's grandmother shows her the pendant and talks about how an adventure is a good thing and an exciting thing, and of course this is how an adventure has been presented for Ash in the past of the Pokemon anime. However, then Liko wakes up and she joins the rest of the Rising Volt Tacklers, and Freddy reveals that Liko's mum actually asked the Rising Volt Tacklers to look after Liko. And of course, with this episode picking up basically where the last one left off, Sprigatito was kidnapped by Amiibo and the Explorers, and Liko starts to worry, of course is worrying that Sprigatito is being mistreated. However, from that, it then cuts to a delighted Sprigatito eating Pokemon food that Iona, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct, but one of the grunts of the Explorers has given to it, and is like treating Sprigatito really nice because she just thinks Sprigatito is cute. And Sprigatito is cute, but it's just funny to see how a antagonist is being actually really nice to the protagonist Pokemon, and it is a bit like actually Team Rocket, Jesse James and Meowth, they were all nice to their Pokemon. So some parallels, some similarities there. However, then Amiibo, which is of course the admin of the Explorers, shows up behind Onya, and he reveals that actually he isn't going to use Sprigatito as a hostage. So why did he steal Sprigatito is kind of unclear, because technically that is a hostage. If you are using a Pokemon or a human to get something in exchange for the real thing you want, that is technically a hostage or a hostage situation. But I digress. Let's move on with the rest of the episode. Because back at the Rising Volt Tackler's ship, Elekid can be seen using electrical powers, just like in the Indigo League episode, Pokemon Emergency, where a bunch of Pikachus charged the Pokemon Center's backup power, and also how in the series Diamond and Pearl, that episode, the Fleeing Tower of Sunyshore, when Volkner's Luxray and Raichu and Ash's Pikachu charged the rockets so Volkner could land the Sunyshore Tower back to where it belonged. And then we see Freddy and Liko try to track down and find Sprigatito, and they land where they think the Explorers have landed with Sprigatito. And of course, Liko wants to find Sprigatito, however Freddy says leave it to him, and they run into Amiibo. And him and Freddy continue their battle from the last episode, which of course ended with a tie, and they use the same Pokemon from that previous episode, with Freddy using his Captain Pikachu and Amiibo using his Ceruledge. And through this battle, Freddy asks Amiibo what he'd do with the pendant if he got it. And Amiibo reveals that by itself, the pendant is useless. So of course this is, the pendant actually itself is useless to Amiibo and the Explorers. However, what he's actually after is Terapagos, which is the legendary Pokemon which is hidden inside the pendant. And Terapagos, of course, is a legendary Pokemon, so it's quite strong, and they probably want to use his terrestrial powers to maybe make their Pokemon stronger, as of course we now have the new Stellar Terra type. And then we find out that Freddy is actually just distracting Amiibo, and Liko and Rockruff are actually trying to find Sprigatito, and Rockruff is using his sense of smell to try and find Sprigatito. However, Onya, the explorer grunt, shows up to stop them, but they manage to escape by using leafage to obscure Ona and Hiskamari's view of them, just like how Liko and Sprigatito blinded Zerk's Rhydon with leafage in episode 1. And with them escaping, Freddy and Amiibo's battle is cut short again, like in the previous episode and in episode 1, as Freddy sees that Liko has found Sprigatito and they have escaped, so he calls out Charizard, hops on, and flies away, leaving Onya a bit with egg on her face, and Amiibo just shocked that they have escaped with Sprigatito, and he's nowhere nearer to getting Liko's pendant. And now, back at the Rising Voltacular ship and base, Liko recalls her grandmother's words that opened this episode, and agrees that a Pokemon adventure is a good and interesting thing. And of course, now with all of them reunited on the ship together, Liko states that she wants to travel with them on the ship, and they accept her request, and she joins them, and now she is part of the Rising Voltaculars. And they all put their hands in together, like how the Rising Voltaculars did earlier this episode. However, now Liko is included in this hand, in all the hands in together, whereas she wasn't before, which now shows that she is a true part of not only this anime, but also the Rising Voltaculars. And then Freddy reveals that they are heading to the Paldea region, of course, the region where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet take place. And also, Paldea is Liko's home region, and they are actually heading to Paldea to reunite with Liko's mum, because remember, Liko's mum asked the Rising Voltaculars to keep an eye on her. So maybe Liko's mum knows something more about Terrapagos than Liko was led to believe. And to end this episode, we are introduced to Roy, who will be the male protagonist of Pokemon Horizons, and he will, of course, be co-protagonist with Liko. However, this is the first appearance of him in Pokemon Horizons, and we find him on a beach, where he finds a Rising Voltacular's flag. And in the end credits, it shows that soon Roy will join the Rising Voltaculars, just like Liko did in this episode. And that is everything. Overall, I think this episode was really good. I think it has finally started up, got into a real good groove, maybe even faster than the original anime has. It hasn't had such a high moment as maybe Ash and Pikachu seeing Ho-Oh flying through the sky, but we have seen Terrapagos, but it doesn't have the heart that the old Pokemon anime had. But we are only a few episodes in. I was only going to cover the first few episodes, but let me know down in the comments below if you want me to cover more, because I'm actually quite liking Pokemon Horizons. And also, let me know down in the comments below if you like Pokemon Horizons, and what did you think of this episode. And as I said, I think this episode was really good, and I can't wait to see what comes next in Pokemon Horizons. And also, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe, and share it out. I will see you in the next one.